Hey Virgo, we're here for your weekly tarot love reading August 11th through to August 17th. This is for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and for any of you lovely cross watchers dealing with a Virgo romantically. Now, I do like to remind you, Virgo, that these are general readings. They may or may not resonate, and you're always welcome here on my channel to take what works and leave the rest. And just a quick reminder that if you'd like to get a personal reading from me, I do offer those through Etsy, and the link is in the description box below the video. So we're gonna jump right into it today, Virgo, and we're gonna see what could be coming toward you in love. First message coming out for Virgo this week says, blowing kiss, unconditional love, giving and receiving, fairness in love, and affection returned. Ooh. So this is really nice, you guys. It's definitely talking about like a balanced relationship. Basically, it's saying there's two people here who are both super into each other. They could be, it's kind of like blowing you a kiss, flirting with you, showing that they're attracted to you. Could be new love coming in if you're single. Could also be the person who you're currently involved with being kind of playful this week, feeling the chemistry between the two of you and doing something fun together. So that feels really nice. Okay, the other thing, guys, I'm getting another message here. I'm looking at the card where it says affection returned. I also kind of wonder for some of you this week if you might be finding out that somebody likes you back, right? So maybe there's been somebody who you're interested in and you haven't really been sure if they're interested in you, but I definitely feel like their affection could be returned this week. So that feels exciting. Let's see where it goes. The next message coming out for Virgo says, love. Unconditional love. I'm like, wait a second, do these two cards say the same thing? Okay. The love card says unconditional love, self-love and wholeness, affection, attraction, and selflessness. So it is a slightly different message, but the thing that I want to point out for you, Virgo, is like both of these cards actually have unconditional love as the first message. So this is kind of spectacular. Basically, what the Oracle is saying here is that there is somebody this week who is here for you, Virgo, and guess what? They love you unconditionally. They're in love with you, they're attracted to you, they're flirting with you, they're showing their interest, they're returning the affection, and they're basically like falling head over heels in love with you, which is kind of spectacular. I love that for you guys. Okay, tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo this week, please. And then, ooh, things are getting juicy, you guys. So we have the snake, competition and enemy, the other woman looking over your shoulder. My goodness. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. Obviously, we've got a beautiful connection here between you and somebody. Someone who you currently know, someone you're involved with, potentially new love if you're single. And it looks like, according to the first two cards, things are going really, really well, okay? Things are amazing. You guys are totally into each other. Now, sometimes what happens is when things are going really well, there could maybe be other people who are not as happy for us. Maybe they're jealous. Maybe, you're with somebody and there's somebody else who's like, I want your person. You know what I mean? It's like there's somebody here who wants you, Virgo, but then there's like maybe a friend who's like jealous of that because they wanted your person. You know what I mean? I hope that made sense. So what I'm getting here is like, you've got a really beautiful connection this week, but my message for you, Virgo, with this snake card is to just be careful of external energy. Be careful of other people who are, the word I'm getting is like trying to steal your joy, Like there could be somebody who is, like there's a competitiveness here, somebody who's like also interested in your person. So I think that the snake card just basically says, be careful this week and make sure that you set healthy boundaries around what is okay or what is not okay. Because I think you and your person are very much in love, but there is like a little bit of that negative energy with the snake where it's like somebody might not be as happy for you as you would expect, and maybe they're gonna do something to potentially cause like some tension or try to cause some tension or some problems. So just be mindful of how that could be showing up. And again, the way that I personally deal with that, it's not a tarot thing, but to me, if somebody is doing that, it's like, how do you set those healthy boundaries around that situation so that it doesn't like meddle with your good vibes between you and your person? So it could be friends. Sometimes it could be family, like maybe family is not totally approving of you and your person, so maybe they're meddling. So there is a little bit of that energy there just to kind of watch out for, okay? So here's what we're gonna do for the rest of the reading, Virgo. We're gonna look more at this person and we're gonna look more at you. So we're going to look at their overall energy, what they could be feeling this week, what they could be doing. We will look at the same thing for you, and then we'll look at the potential outcome. So let's kind of dig into it. Tell me about this person who is here for Virgo this week, please. Okay, first card coming out is the Chariot, which is kind of awesome because the Chariot is a card of like charging forward and going after what they want. So when it comes to you, Virgo, it definitely feels like this person has a huge sense of momentum. It's like you're going to feel their energy coming towards you. You're going to feel them pursuing you. You're going to feel the interest and the affection and the love that they're bringing towards you. And it's also really nice because the Chariot is like, they're not just standing still. They're actually moving things forward within the connection here. Tell me more, please. Six of Wands, beautiful. Okay. This is a card of victory and success. I mean, it's basically saying the reason that this person is moving forward with you is because they definitely see the potential for an amazing future. And this card, we've also talked about it before, Virgo. I feel like it shows up a lot when somebody like really admires us and really respects us. And so I feel like this person has a lot of admiration and a lot of respect for you. And that's also one of the reasons that they are with you or are pursuing you. Tell me more. Oh, what is this about this person's energy? Page of Pentacles came jumping out. It is possible you're dealing with a fellow earth sign, a Virgo, Taurus, or a Capricorn. So yeah, this is a card that tends to indicate somebody reaching out, maybe even surprising you with something, giving you some sort of gift, like basically giving you some sort of token of their affection here, Virgo, which feels really nice. Okay, so their overall energy is amazing. Let's see what they could be feeling this week, please. First card coming out is the Hermit, which is kind of funny because the Hermit is Virgo energy and you're a Virgo, so maybe you're dealing with a fellow Virgo. I've said this before, you guys, so you've probably heard this, but like, I know so many Virgos who are with other Virgos. To me, it seems like such a common pairing, okay? Like in my friend group, personally, is where I see it. Like it's kind of wild. I have a lot of friends who are Virgos and like they're all hooking up with the other Virgos. So could be you know. But regardless of the sign of who you're dealing with, the Hermit is like a very thoughtful energy. But it's a little bit of a quieter energy, right? And it's showing up in your person's emotions. And what it's kind of telling me here is that this is not somebody who just like falls head over heels in love easily. I think this is someone who's very intentional. But the thing, Virgo, is that when they do fall in love with you, they are very serious. They're very intentional about it. It's like they don't just fall in and out of love easily, you know? They are very, like, I think the word I'm getting is selective in terms of who they give their heart to, but like when they commit, they fully commit. So you might even find with this person, like maybe they're a little bit more reserved in the beginning, right? But then over time, you really start to see those feelings blossoming between the two of you. Tell me more about what they could be feeling this week, please. Page of Wands, love it. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely getting the sense here that they're attracted to you. They're flirting with you. Pages tend to be messengers. Pages tend to come forward. This is the second page that we've seen in your person's energy. So we're definitely seeing a lot here, Virgo, to indicate that this person is making some sort of move on you this week, giving you something, flirting with you, approaching you, wanting to move things forward. Like a lot of their energy is really being directed towards you, and also with that Chariot as well. Tell me more about what they could be feeling. And then the Four of Cups. Ooh, interesting, interesting. So, okay, Four of Cups is a card of like pulling back. It's a card of emotionally withdrawing. So it's kind of interesting because we're getting maybe a little bit of like a push and a pull kind of dynamic in your person's feelings for this week. Because we started with the Hermit, so I'm like, okay, this person's a little bit quieter. They don't just open up immediately. You know, they take their time, but they're very thoughtful. And then we've got the Page of Wands, which is like they're super attracted to you, they're pursuing you, they're flirting with you. But then we've got the Four of Cups, which is like, and then they kind of pull back. They need a little bit of space. Like maybe you're dealing with someone who's a bit shy or introverted. Now, the other message I am getting here, because remember, we pulled the snake, right? I almost wonder if the Four of Cups is maybe your person's emotional reaction to anything that's potentially toxic going on this week, right? So it could also be that, you know, if there is some sort of like drama or people meddling in your connection, the Four of Cups could also be your person choosing to emotionally withdraw from that situation and be like, I'm not giving energy to that. That's not where I want to spend my time. So let's see what actions they could be taking for this week, please. First card coming out is the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful. I mean, the Nine of Pentacles is a lovely card of somebody who is self-sufficient, independent, working on themselves. Someone who I feel is like really ready for a healthy relationship. Tell me more, please, about what actions they could be taking. The Hierophant, we've got this lovely Taurus energy here, Virgo. So Hierophant tends to be a card associated with marriage, commitment, choosing somebody, being with somebody. And so they're taking action this week to really demonstrate their commitment to you in whatever way makes sense for where your relationship is at. Tell me more about what actions they could be taking. And then the Three of Wands, wow. Okay. Three of Wands is super visionary, somebody thinking ahead and being like, yeah, this is what I want with me and Virgo. And so their action energy this week is giving some really serious vibes here, Virgo, where they're thinking about the future. And specifically with the Hierophant and the Three of Wands beside each other, it's like they're thinking of the commitment between the two of you and how that is going to continue to progress within your relationship in the future. So definitely feeling like this person is really serious about you, which is not surprising because how lovely the first two oracle cards were. Like I said, I definitely think there's some super solid energy this week where somebody really loves you. The only thing was that snake energy where it's like, you know, with your person, we see them potentially choosing to like disconnect from that energy and to not feed it. Right? So there's a little bit of that there, but does it change the fact that they're committed to you? No, not at all. They're like, let's get this snake energy out of the way, and then I can focus on my connection with Virgo. Okay, so let's take a look at your energy for this week, please. Tell me about Virgo. First card coming out, Knight of Pentacles, which is like kind of your energy because you're an earth sign. So the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's very intentional about building a relationship. Now, it's interesting because we talked about this a little bit with your person with the Hermit energy, where I was like, I don't think this person just falls in and out of love. Like it's nothing, you know? When they fall in love, they mean it and they're in it for the long haul. And I'm kind of getting that vibe as well with the Knight of Pentacles for you. Like my sense here is that neither of you are like rushing things forward. Both of you see the potential here. You see the seriousness of the relationship. You see that future together. And I think both of you are really taking that time, especially you with the Knight of Pentacles, to lay that solid foundation to the connection. Tell me more, please. And then the Fool. I love it. The Fool is so happy. It's like, let's take a leap of faith. Let's have this new beginning together. This could totally be new love coming in if you're a single Virgo, but I definitely feel if you're in a relationship that the two of you could be, I don't know, having some sort of new experience, taking the next step within your relationship, progressing things, and really just allowing yourselves to fall even deeper in love. Tell me more, please, about Virgo's energy for this week, and then the Hanged Man, okay? Yeah, so the Hanged Man is a slower energy. It's a paused energy. It tends to indicate that there's something going on for you this week where maybe you kind of need to slow things down and look at the situation from a different perspective, right? And again, like we can't ignore the fact that there was that snake energy in the overall vibe of the reading. I pull the overall energy, Virgo, to frame the reading, right? It gives context for what's going on, and then we dig into it with the tarot. And so it might even be that the Hanged Man is here to suggest that if there is some sort of drama, meddling, negative energy, maybe it's been frustrating to you, Virgo, and maybe you've been trying to deal with it one way. The Hanged Man could be suggesting that maybe you need to look at that situation from a different perspective, and that might give you some insight potentially into a different way to handle that situation. So let's see what Virgo could be feeling this week, please. Okay. Four of Wands. We are definitely going to take that, you guys. Yeah, I think you and your person are very serious about each other. I don't see any issues here between you and this person. Four of Wands is the 11-11 card. It's commitment. You can put 11-11 in the comments if you claim this. And so emotionally, you're like, yeah, this is like my person. I see this going forward. I see us building this beautiful future. Tell me more, please. Seven of Wands. Ooh, juicy. Interesting. Okay. This kind of fits with what I was saying earlier in the reading. Remember when I pulled the snake card and I was like, you know, the way that I feel you can deal with an energy like this is by setting healthy boundaries, right? That's kind of what the Seven of Wands is. It's like not putting up with any bullshit and setting healthy boundaries around what's okay and what's not okay. Now, the interesting thing too is that the Seven of Wands to me can sometimes feel like a very protective energy. And so I definitely feel for you and your person, there's like this protective energy for both of you surrounding the connection. And the thing that I like about it, Virgo, is that it feels very unified. So if there is something that's kind of threatening the relationship in some sort of way this week, I feel like both of you are like very protective of each other, very protective of the connection. And again, like setting healthy boundaries around whatever that potentially toxic situation is. Let's see what else Virgo could be feeling. And then we've got the High Priestess. Yeah, I mean, that's gorgeous, you guys. The High Priestess tends to show up when we feel a really strong soul connection with somebody. So here's the thing. Remember, we had all of these love cards showing up in the overall energy. And then we've got the High Priestess in your feelings. And it kind of just suggests to me that this is a very special connection, Virgo. Like, this is just not a fleeting romance that disappears. This is two people where you feel that strong pull towards each other. You feel that like soul contract. You feel that the two of you are meant to be together. The High Priestess is that sense of meeting somebody and being like, I know I've never met you, but yet I feel like I've known you my entire life. That's the kind of vibe that you get with this card. So we're definitely getting a lot of beautiful energy to really show that this is an amazing connection between you and this person. So let's see what actions Virgo could be taking this week, please. The Death card. Good. Okay. So the Death card, it's kind of scary. It's not like about literal death. It's about something ending that leads to a new beginning. I'm kind of feeling hopeful, Virgo. Like I said, going back to the snake, if there is some sort of drama or negative energy in your love life this week, I feel like the Death card is saying like, it's going to wrap up. It's probably not going to stick around forever. It could be frustrating in the moment, but you know what? Here's the thing. You know how I've been saying like, don't give into that energy, right? We saw the Four of Cups with your person where it's like they emotionally withdraw. If you do not feed that energy, at some point, that person will probably stop trying. You know what I mean? Like if they're trying to cause drama or they're trying to cause issues, if you guys don't give any energy to it, it'll probably go away, you know? Like, have you ever had this experience where, you know, someone's kind of not being great, they're bullying or they're, you know, causing problems. But if you don't react, if you don't respond, if you just maintain your cool, calm, collected demeanor and go on living your life, a lot of the times that energy kind of goes away, right? So it's, if you don't feed it, at some point they're going to be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to not do that anymore. So I feel like the Death card to me feels positive, Virgo, where it's like, if there is some sort of drama or somebody causing problems for you and your person, I don't feel like it's going to be a long-term thing. It might be something frustrating you deal with this week, but then hopefully by the end of the week, it's resolved itself. Tell me more, please. King of Wands, beautiful. So King of Wands is a very confident energy. So I feel like you're stepping into your confidence this week, stepping into your power. Tell me more. And then the Nine of Wands. Yeah. Okay. I really think you and your person are united. Like I keep getting the word, you guys are united. That's what keeps coming into my head, like the word united. And so even though we have seen some potential tension in the external energy, the Nine of Wands is like, okay, sure, bring it. It doesn't matter because you can't break us apart, you know? Like the Nine of Wands is a card of fighting for each other, fighting for the relationship and not giving up on each other just because external stuff is happening that makes things challenging. And I do really get a sense here between the two of you that there is this very deep level of commitment, respect, and love between you. So yeah, if life is kind of throwing something at you this week that makes things challenging, I don't think it impacts the dynamic between you and your person because you guys are united. You're fighting for each other, you're committed to the relationship, you're protective of the relationship. And that's why I think if there is negative energy, if this person or people or whatever the situation is, if they're like trying to cause issues, but then as they do that, they see how united you and your person are. Like I said, I think they'll stop trying at some point to be a troublemaker because they're like, nothing's gonna break Virgo and their person apart. So, you know, they just kind of go by the wayside, right? All right, so moment of truth here. Let's see what the potential outcome is in this situation, please. Eight of Swords, okay? I think this represents you guys feeling kind of like stuck and anxious in this annoying snake situation. Tell me more, please. The Judgment, good. Judgment is like higher calling, higher purpose. And then the Two of Wands, yeah. I feel like what's happening this week, you know, as we've talked about, there is some tension, there is some sort of potentially negative situation. I do think it's gonna resolve itself, like, and then you guys can get back to planning for the future. But I do think that the energy is here this week. So it's just good to be mindful of. Is it gonna be taking over your entire week? I don't think it's gonna be doing that, but it's kind of like that, what do people say? Like thorn in your side, right? Like an annoying energy that you have to deal with. And so it is there. I think that this is a week to just stay strong, stay united in your connection with your person. And then once the situation is able to resolve itself, then you can go back to planning for the future between the two of you. So it's kind of an interesting reading today because there's kind of like two things. On the one hand, the reading is showing like a tremendous amount of love between you and somebody, but on the other, it is showing like potential for a little bit of negativity to be messing with you guys. It doesn't feel big though. Like I feel whatever that is, it's going to just fall away, Virgo. I keep getting that message. Like if you don't feed that energy and you don't give it the time of day, it'll fall away, right? It's kind of like, I keep getting the example of a bully where, you know, someone's bullying you and they're getting a reaction. Sometimes it like makes them even worse, you know? But if they bully you and they're getting nothing and you're not reacting, like sometimes they get bored and they go away, right? That's the kind of sense I'm getting here in this reading. So I feel like once that happens, you guys can go back to just being in love, you know? So that's what I see for you for this week, Virgo. If you enjoyed this reading, you know what to do. Give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. If you'd like to get a personal reading, I do offer those through Etsy and the link is in the description box below the video. And of course, I wish you love and happiness and we'll talk soon. Bye guys.